How's the body, mate, after Sunday?
Yeah. You know what? It was my ankle, which I expected. When I was training, I sort of trained to the point where I knew that it could go either way, but I didn't want to push through that in training, so I just thought on the day, I'll have to get through that, and I did. Ankle for a couple of days after was sore. Body was a little bit sore, but I've recovered. Thanks.
Yeah. But I guess you didn't have any option. You had to be back in the mix here. Was it Monday you were back in taking training? Yeah. Well, I can get a vision of you in your armchair on the side of the pitch, maybe.
No, I was stiff. That's for sure. I was stiff. I tried to hide it. A few of the lads were like, "Oh, stiff," but no, it was good. It was good. Staff helped me.
Yeah, and just on a serious note, I mean, anybody I know who's ever ran that, they said obviously there's the physical pain, but the sort of buzz you get from it, that sense of achievement. Obviously, we know your reasons why you were doing it as well, but you must have got a high off it as well as coming through the pain barrier.
Yeah, that was part of my thinking as well. Like getting to the point where I had to go through it, and I strategically placed my family on mile 22, I think, where I really needed them. And it was emotional. Like probably mentally, it's probably the hardest thing. Of course, physically it's hard as well, but mentally, when you've done half of it and you're struggling a little bit, and you have to do another half. And even in training, I think I said before, I actually really enjoyed the training because it created them moments where you have to find out a little bit about yourself, where it's tough and you have to push through it, and you learn a lot about yourself in them moments.
Is that your marathon career over now then? What do you think you're doing?
You know what? Straight away after, people were like, "You can do it again." I was like, "No chance." But after a few days, a few friends have said to me, "Oh, you've inspired me to maybe do it." And I said, "Listen, if you do it, I will do it with you. But I won't be jumping to do one."
It's probably a nice, well, not a nice segue, but segue into maybe squad-wise, fitness-wise. How are we looking? I'll throw a few names here. Emi Mokonde, you obviously explained, had a bit of a back issue from Middlesbrough. How's he looking for this week? Yeah,
Emi's still feeling his back a little bit. I think he's a player with a lot of quality who has shown that a lot this season. But yeah, he's still feeling his back.
So not involved this weekend yet. What about Ante? Has he made it this weekend?
Ante's closer. I'm going to have a conversation with the medical staff later. He trained today, and see where he's at. See if we can get him on the pitch.
Just obviously want to ask you about Jurasek. Is there any chance he could be available this weekend?
Jurasek still he's building. He's been working hard, I know that. He seems happy. I had a conversation with him this week. He's still working individually with a fitness coach. And yeah, like I said before, we know with Jurasek it's a long-term plan for him, and I'm convinced he's going to be a really good player for us. Just at the minute he's a little bit short.
I mean, you were very clear last week when we asked you about him. You said, look, everybody needs to be a bit calm. It's a young lad coming to a new environment for the first time, and there's obviously the physical building up element, but off the pitch as well. We was at an event with Onel last night, and he was talking about the parallels. He came in from Germany halfway through a season, and he talked about how tough it was. Didn't have a huge command of English. All those off the pitch things that you don't really aware of, and I guess that's a little bit like what Mate's got to go through this period now.
Exactly, and I think as well it's a massive step up coming to England in terms of everything, in terms of the football, in terms of the intensity, in terms of the attention from everyone, from media, from fans, and when you come with a relatively big price tag, it can take some time to adapt to that. And yeah, I know, myself and the staff chatting about Jura, we're calm about him. We know his quality. He trained with us a few times and showed that quality. It's just now about, can we build him so he can do that consistency.
Any other names that we're not sort of aware of already that are out for this weekend fitness-wise coming out of Borough?
No, I don't think so, Paddy. You put me on the spot a little bit, and I should have been prepared. But no, everyone came through it well. I think morale was up as well after the game. I think we showed we can go away and we can be difficult to beat, and everyone's in a good place.
I didn't ask you after Borough, but just to clarify, George Long wasn't involved. Was that just purely a selection call on your part last weekend, not to be in the squad?
Yeah, George has played some games this season. Vinny's played some games this season. It was just a decision we took as staff here.
And obviously Gunny came in and showed what he's all about. But subsequently, I know it wouldn't have been a surprise to you, but publicly the club have put out there now that obviously Angus and Onel and Youngie and one or two other couple of younger lads, that's them really. Once the end of the season's finished, contract, they're going to move on. Just your thoughts on that, and And now it's been this week. We know we've seen a little bit of footage. But as I say, we was with Onel last night. It's obviously an emotional week for them around the group. How do you manage that whole process?
Yeah, I think that the players you're talking about deserve all the words that people are saying, all the love that they're getting. Obviously, I've been at the club only a short period in terms of trying to make decisions and stuff like that, and I have nothing to do with them decisions. But yeah, I think when you've been at a club for a long time, which I've experienced, and then left, it's hard. It's hard emotionally, and your whole life changes. And yeah, I think as a club, like, we're just really thankful to them and the spirit and the dedication they've shown. Onel's been here for a long time. Gunny's obviously a Norwich, and him and his dad come from a family of legends, really. So yeah, we're just really thankful to them, and hopefully we can give them the send off tomorrow that they deserve, and they get a moment with the fans to thank them and send them off in the right way.
And as you talked about sending off there, but as a coach, how have you navigated that this week? Because really, you can't allow that sentiment element to play any part in your approach this weekend.
I think the approach is the same as last week, and we're going into a game that we're trying to win. There's of course I want to try and get them on the pitch and get them some minutes, but of course as well there's a game to win.
And then moving on a little bit later in the week, touched on already, Emi Marcondes, a club have triggered that contract extension. I know there's a lot of things to fall into place in terms of around you and the head coach and what have you, but looking at what he's brought in as a free agent, came in towards the sort of second part of the season, but you look at his numbers, safe to say he's probably merited that extension in terms of his impact, his goal contribution. Yeah,
I think Emi, as I said before, he's been top, and I think that's quite a difficult situation to come into as well, and he did. And I love the way Emi is as a person. Like, he's so driven, he has total belief in himself, and yeah, he's produced a lot of moments of quality this year when we've needed them. And the other thing I love about him is a fighter as well. He wants to win. He's got that hunger for the game. So yeah, I think it's a really good thing. Next year he'll still be here and try and help the group progress.
And part of that progression as well, what he brings is, he's been out of this division with Bournemouth and Brentford. He knows what it takes. He's got that experience and what you need to be competing at the top end.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Like that little feel at times. And of course we've got a lot of young players here. And I always remember when I broke into the team and I was surrounded by players that had that experience, had that little bit extra, and they can really help young players. So yeah, really good.
It's obviously awards season. This morning the club have confirmed Josh Player of the Year and Kellen Young Player. I mean, just your thoughts on that? Yeah,
outstanding. I said it after the Middlesbrough game when someone asked me about maybe we could have scored, but the moments, not just Josh and Kellen, but Borja and the attacking output we've had this year, outstanding, and we have to build on that. We have to, I think, when you think about this Norwich team in particular, that the biggest strength is going forward and is trying to create moments. And yeah, Josh has been outstanding. He's a leader as well, Josh, the way he is in the dressing room. He's been really helpful for me in this period, the last 10 days, and trying to help me understand where the team's at. But yeah, top player, top professional, and yeah, really good. Fair play to him.
I mean, is it a lot externally look at his goals this season, look at his goals last season, even though he's had those injury interludes, and probably put him in your sort of more traditional number 9 as good as any in the division. I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. I think when you look across, like across Europe and in the top 5 leagues, there's, everyone seems to be after a 9 and there's not many going, and Josh is a top 9, and I'm sure he will admit himself that he still has areas that he wants to get better at, but his attitude and his hunger for the game, he will get better at that. He's at a great age. Physically, he's really good. And I think what you mentioned about going through them injuries, like, I've been in that position, and you learn a lot about your body. And I think Josh has got the experience now where hopefully moving forward he can stay fit and stay on the pitch.
Yeah, and a word on Kellen, because obviously I know your playing days are behind you, and you're a coach now. But the way you came through as a young player and handled that step up, and obviously slightly different levels with Kellen, but this season his consistency as well. When he's been asked to do different roles, as we know, it says a lot about his maturity, his mentality, doesn't it? As well as his quality.
Kel, like fish, I love him. He, I'm trying to think of the clean word to say about him, but he's got big, I'm trying to say cojones, I'm going to say, where he's got courage to play. A lot of the time this year, like we've asked him to play in different positions, play in midfield. There was, that feeling in the staff, can he play in midfield? It's a little bit different. And he went in there and he done what was asked of him. And yeah, he's got a big future because as well, the way he works, how hungry he is, how much committed he is to his development, not just on the pitch, his physical development as well. I think you've seen him take strides with that. But yes, a really interesting player for the future here because he can play in a number of positions and he has quality.
Yeah, and as you say, as a young player, particularly when you're getting a lot of praise, to have that mentality where stay humble, stay hungry, work every day, and then the rest takes care of itself.
Exactly, and another thing about him is he's so coachable. I think about the times where we've asked him to do things and you think, maybe at times he hasn't done that before, but he'll try it, he'll understand it and he'll try it. And yeah, a lot of courage to play and improve.
Yeah, and final one on the awards, you sort of touched on it, and I think started last weekend actually, Sargent and Bullhire in the league team of the season. That just underlines on a personal level what them two lads have produced. Yeah,
and we had a moment this week where we praised them and took that moment because I think to get in the team of the year is an amazing achievement, and it shows the level of consistency, and that's what we're all chasing, right? Even me as a coach, the players, like we are trying to find a place where we can consistently perform, consistently compete, and them to have done it this season when they've been asked, and yeah, really, really well done to them, and we should be proud as a club of them.
Obviously got to touch base with you on you and your situation. I mean, any further chats with Ben this week?
No, well, yes, we have been chatting, me and Ben, chatting about a lot of things, but they made it clear for me from the start, these two games, and then we can have a conversation. It's still that. I think that's important as well, even from my point of view, because there's a lot to do as a head coach. There's a lot to try and organise and make sure everything's okay. And I appreciate that we have to get this game out of the way, and then we'll take that discussion when it comes.
I mean, would you hope it would be relatively swiftly? Obviously, there's a process to follow here, but beyond Saturday, that there starts to be some clarity, maybe. So the club know. Yeah,
I think that is the best for everyone. I think Ben would probably say the same. I think this obviously wasn't the plan that Johannes would leave, but it has, and you have to adapt in football as a coach, as a player, as a technical director, as a sporting director. You have to be able to adapt and still try and keep on the same process. And I think if we can get it done quick, I think that'll be best for everyone. Yeah.
Do you think as well that part of that sort of concluding it relatively swiftly is you're going into what feels like a big summer in terms of the squad turnover, players coming, players going, final decisions having to be made on that, and clearly whoever the head coach is needs to have a bit of an input into that. Yeah,
I think that's probably why if Ben and the club can get it done quick, they'd be happier and in a better position because of the situation you just spoke about. And I think also whoever the head coach is coming in would prefer that he would be in sooner rather than later, so he can look at the squad and assess it and see who's moving, who's not moving, and then go from there.
Well, I know, as you say, as far as you're concerned, it's this 2-game brief. You'll sit down with the people you need to sit down and plot it from there. But on that point, you have been in the building, so you have formulated really educated decisions on players because you've been working with them day in, day out since October, and obviously in this 2-week period now as like the leader of that group. So that's probably a tick in your box, isn't it? Yeah,
and I think I'm in a fortunate position because your relationship with a player as a first team coach or as a head coach is completely different. So like you said, I've been in and I've built relationship with the players, and that has helped me. It has helped me when I've been asked to step up as interim head coach. It's definitely helped me, and there are a few different things as a head coach that you have to consider, but I would agree with that point that my relationships built over the last 6 months have helped me in this role.
I mean, you said after the Borough, when you came in straight after the game, mate, that you'd loved that whole experience of the match cycle, the pre-match, the game. And what's it been like a full week here to actually plan? Have you enjoyed that process as well?
Yeah, it's been excellent. I think again, I'll thank the staff for their help and really getting behind me, because I always think, it's sometimes tricky situation where there's an interim head coach and you want to do certain things, but people are looking at it saying, well, you're not actually the head coach. But the staff have been absolutely amazing, got behind me. We've changed a couple of things. We're not actually completely changing things, because I said before, like, Johannes had some really, really good things, and I don't think the team are too far away from what people want to see, what the fans want to see. And yeah, it's been a really good week. We chased the same things, energy and enjoyment, and yeah, the lads have been good. Worked really hard Tuesday, Wednesday, and then sort of come off it a little bit, and hopefully be ready to go tomorrow.
And it sounds from what you're saying there, Jack, you've had that total buy-in again and commitment from that group of players. Yeah, the players have been outstanding, and I think I said that I was actually emotional with them after the game against Middlesbrough, because yeah, like the preparation was good, and you have a feeling that it's going well, but you never really know until 3 o'clock on a Saturday when you're asking them to perform for you, and they were excellent. Everything we asked from them, you know, we had a variety in our attack. I thought our high press was excellent, and we managed to trap them outside a lot of times, and that's what we wanted, and then hurt them on transition. You saw it right at the end where we maybe could have nicked a goal, but yeah, staff, players, everyone has got behind me, and I thank them, and it's been really good. Yeah, well, just going to ask you that, but you've touched on it anyway. I'm sure you sat down with Tony and Nick and sort of debriefed Borough with a bit more space between the game. And you've talked about one or two of the elements there that you liked. What would you like to see improved upon from that performance going into Saturday? Yeah, well, I think it's a different game. It's a completely different game, and that will be the challenge for me, for the players, for the staff, is can we show that side now where we really be on the front foot, be aggressive, and try and win the ball back as high as possible, but also be a little bit better on the ball and make better decisions. And we've worked on a few things this week, and hopefully again we'll see the players try and execute. And that's all we can ask for. I'm a big believer in you ask the players to do something, and then you have to praise the intention, and hopefully after a while of working at certain things, the outcome looks after itself. But if you see the intention of the players is to do the right things, then you have to praise. Because you've obviously had this full week for the first time, is it about you and what you're trying to get out of your team, or how much weighting basically is what I'm asking? Do you sort of look at Cardiff and what Aaron's trying to do there when it comes into you formulating your approach, or is it about if we do what we do well, then I'm not too concerned about Cardiff? Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think the context of the game will help shape the performance, the game that we want. I think we have to look at opposition. Of course, they do certain things, and sometimes we have to adapt to that. But yeah, again, same focus of energy, of enjoyment, of be on the front foot. Like, let's get the fans behind us. Last home game of the season, we want to really. It's been, as I said before, it's been a tough season for the fans, and we want to leave them on a note where they're excited about next season. They're looking forward to it. They believe in it, and I'm convinced we can do that. Yeah, so that's been a central theme, it sounds like, this week. That message that as a group, coaches, players, staff, you can go out and deliver something for the fans that they can take into the summer and feel optimistic about what's down the line. Yeah, and I think, you know, when I said before, when you're a coach on the side and you're watching the game, you want to see certain things. Like a fan, you want to see the passion, you want to see the hunger, you want to see the desire to win duels, to run back, and the things that just won't change in football. And you know, I always say, tactically, yeah, you can set a team up, but if you don't have all that, the other side of the game where you're going to win duels, where you're going to fight, and at times you might have to suffer, defend your box. You saw us do it in Middlesbrough, so the players can do it. Like, they're there and they're committed, and we just have to find, like I said before, the level of consistency to do that, and yeah, hopefully we can get that balance right tomorrow. Yeah, you said there you feel it'll be a different game and different demands placed on your team this week compared to last. Do you think part of that is obviously they've not been able to achieve their objective? That could free them up now. There might be just more expression about that group of players, because, you know. Yeah, it can happen. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that can happen. We have to be ready for that. I think we are ready for that. We know, look, we played Cardiff early in the season. I think it was my second game actually, and it was a game where I thought we were really good. We dominated the ball. Gabe Forsyth played actually in that game. I remember it now. And we should have won the game, but then you saw the threat they have. They went and I think they transitioned on us twice, maybe once, but and you end up losing the game where you've been. So we know their threat, and we know what they're good at, and we have to make sure that we're ready for everything. Final one, obviously, I've got to ask you about the sort of Aaron Ramsey connection. Have you managed, I think you might have said when you did your TalkSport bit that you wasn't sure if you would get in touch with him. Has there been any text back and forth this week?
No, there hasn't. No, I've got massive respect for Aaron. I think, me and Aaron go back many years. Where I came through the academy, he was brought into the club. I think in a way we pushed each other a lot. Where I wanted to be in the team, he wanted to be in the team, and eventually we both got in the team. So yeah, I've got massive respect for him. We've shared some amazing moments. I remember him scoring the winner in the FA Cup final, and also respect for him for taking on this challenge. I know I think he said he still wants to play, right? But to be asked to do this and really take it on, and you can see his energy as well and how committed he was to it. Fair play to him, and he's someone who I think can go on to have a really good coaching career.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that really. I mean, it does feel like maybe it has come a bit like yourself, maybe not at the timeline he was looking at, but did you see that coaching element to him as a player when you were together, that he was one who thought about the game and maybe could go down that route? Yeah,
you could see he thought about the game. I always think as well, when someone loves the game, you have some players who like it, but some players who are completely committed and that's their life, and it's fine either way, but he was one who was completely committed. He obviously spent a lot of time injured like I did, and to have the hunger and drive to get back, and he's still going. So yeah, he loves the game, and I can see a future in coaching for him.
I did see, I mean, you'll be able to put me straight, I saw some mad stat that you actually made your PL debuts apparently within 2 minutes of each other in the same game. Yeah, bizarrely, yeah. Don't ask me. Yeah. And obviously now here you are very early in your respective coach. It's strange.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Like I said last week, if someone would have told me even 7 months, 8 months ago, you're going to be the interim head coach at Norwich and Aaron Ramsey will be at Cardiff and you'll play against each other, I wouldn't have believed you. So yeah, it just shows football is crazy, but it's also a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Just one from me, Jack. Sorry, I mean, obviously end of the season, you've kind of touched upon it. How would you reflect on how the season's been and how it's gone from a Norwich perspective?
Yeah, it's well, when I came in, we was in a really good place. I thought we were playing some amazing football, probably conceding cheap goals that we didn't want to, but in terms of in possession we were outstanding, and then it's been up and down since that moment really. Seems like the moments where we could really push on, we fell a little bit short, which can happen, right? When you're trying to change a lot of things in the club, you're bringing in young players, and what you hope is that them moments where we do fall a little bit short, we give a last minute goal away, that we learn from them, and we try and change that. I think the Middlesbrough performance showed that the lads have developed this season, and they understand the importance of both sides of the game and being tough to play against. And even if you're a team that has the ball all the time, or biggest strength is in possession to try and break teams down, you still have to be good defensively. And I think if we can add that a little bit, this team could go to another level.